Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio World. It's me, Tony B. The gentleman you're looking at is Zach Bruner, who is just a wealth of information. We are live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You heard a couple stories earlier from folks who live here. I've had the opportunity to talk to a few folks, and what you hear from the people who live here in some instances is very similar to what you heard on a national level. What you hear from people who live here is, in some instances, very different from what you've heard on a national level in the way that it has impacted the lives of those who are here. And so to start off, we're coming from you live from Black Wallstreet. The remembrance of this is the 100th year of what was a massacre that for a lot of folks who lived in this town weren't even familiar with. Now, how does that happen? I want to bring this kind of into a real situation for you. I'm not going to share the entire story with you, but if you live in this community and you're in the 1920s and the entire city of white folks came with guns and torches and were burning down the entire incredible neighborhood that you had taken so long to build, dropped bombs from planes on your neighborhood, rostered people up who could be out of their houses, buried the dead in mass graves without any identification, and then the next day the headlines are 2 white men killed by black people in a race riot. That does not make you feel safe and secure about taking it any further. That will push it into the background. Now, this happened in a number of different places around this country as well. So it was a systemic terrorizing of black people to let them know that they need to keep their place. We will burn everything you have down and put you back into essentially what is slavery and bondage. You can read other or look at other things that have done research on these things, but we're going to come to you from Tulsa right now. And joining me, for those of you who are out there, this is Mr. Zach Bruner. We've been talking a little bit again, a wealth of information. You already can't find out about most of this stuff anywhere. We're going to get you some factual information. So with that said, I am going to now welcome a little bit closer, please. And we're going to go for a walk. We're going to see some things. Mr. Zach Bruner. Zach, how are you, bro?
Good. How you doing, bro?
Man, fantastic. I've enjoyed our little conversations. I want to show the T-shirt here. Turn this way a little bit. And these are the T-shirts that you market.
Sure.
And the hats. We're going to walk and talk. But again, if you're talking about reparations, we'll start with individuals like this. Okay. And so you're selling these. They're available online.
I'm selling them right now.
You can only get them right here for right now.
It's so high.
That even makes them more authentic. Now, what we're going to do at Rainier Avenue Radio is we're going to give one of these shirts to one of our listeners, okay? And you have until, let's say, Friday to do this. I want you to send to here's how you do it, RainierAvenueRadio.world@gmail.com. Send me 3 different locations of black communities that were terrorized and suffered mass destruction in this country. And we're going to post all of them. And out of that, we're going to pull a winner. It will just be random. And we're going to make sure you get one of these authentic shirts from the gentleman who is, again, a resident, a descendant, and part of the rebuilding, and a historian and storyteller about this. So, RainierAvenueRadio.world@gmail.com. If you want one of these shirts, right now you can only get from Tulsa and support. And we'll figure out how to get these to you at some point in time. Send in 3 different locations that were victimized and terrorized and massacred. We'll put your name in the pot and we'll pick one and you'll get one of these T-shirts.
I'll make it easy for you.
Okay.
It's called the Red Summer.
And you got now you gotta jump on it. Now you gotta jump on it.
That right there, you gonna bring them on.
Send them to RainierAvenueRadio.world@gmail.com and we'll put you in and we'll get you this T-shirt. So now, Zach, where do you want to start? A lot of times, what we start with is starting with, again, as you mentioned, the destruction of Black Wall Street. But there's a lot of story that's before that.
Yeah.
So I will let you take it from here. And you can talk about, we are standing here next to the Greenwood Rising Black Wall Street History Center, which is not open yet, but we're going to get a chance to go in there and take a look at it before it opens.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
I like to start with how blacks ended up in Tulsa. There was different ways we actually arrived here. The first way that many people believe was they were enslaved by the Indians. I mean, which was true. But they were also escorted by Buffalo soldiers. That's a story you rarely hear about. So it wasn't like everybody was convicted servant. It's basically slaves at the time, cheap labor, if you will. And it was pretty much like a ransom type of deal where the Indians actually were driven out of their land, but of course, some people, I guess, probably felt bad about it. So they went, so the Indians still had wealth. So they were able to obtain slaves. They were just driven out of their land. And so when they got here, of course, they're in a big, you know what I mean? And they came, they were, in the sense of slavery and indentured service, they were more or less like indentured servants. They didn't go through the same abuse like white. You never hear stories of Indians abusing or terrorizing or dismembering the slave. So there was some kind of camaraderie which produced people like myself and a lot of people in this area, Midwest area, have some type of heritage in their background, some type of Indian blood. So there were all types of stories about how people ended up here, but how our black people was with the Indians, and then a beautiful thing happened. Oil, oil hit this place. They allotted the Indians the land. You know, the brothers was here working just like we always trying to survive. And when oil hit this land, you had people that were working these lands. You know, you brought Indians to another oasis. If anybody know anything about Oklahoma, there's a lot of fish, a lot of water. So they were right at home. They had to only deal with the winter that was different. Now, when you start talking about Black Wallstreet, you had to start right there. Shouts out to the women. She actually took that part. When the blacks started really coming here, when they offered free land, because a lot of the land was, let's say, the best part from north to the south of all of Oklahoma did not belong to the Indians. Give the entire state to them. So the Indians from pretty much, let's say, right above Tulsa, Oklahoma, all the way down to the border, and that was considered Indian territory. There was another misconception that it was all Indian territory. No, they had areas. But when oil was discovered, they ended up putting up laws and rules that stated that they can only buy so much or they could only work so much land, and they were restricted. So the blacks actually came with a little more education experience from other places. That was the other thing too. They were a lot of people thought that the people that actually started Black Wall Street wanted to come from slavery. No, they were actually men, educators, women, business people. Remember, you know, we still had Texas right below us. They had just, I think, what they hadn't lived 100 years from being free from slavery, but they were still free. So, and of course, they were branching out all over the place. So we had a lot of commerce coming from other people and other places. Black Wall Street was started from a combination of a lot of different blacks from different areas, not just the enslaved blacks. And the education here was second to none, obviously, because you had people coming from all different backgrounds. This was a free enterprise place. I kind of I stayed in Vegas before. I compared to Vegas. You find something, cultivate it, you make it grow, and everything is going to mushroom from there. Every time there's a casino or anything like that being built, it automatically look for expansion. So Black Wall Street was built from that, and a lot of people didn't tell that part of the story. And it is sad that we have to find out during the centennial pretty much the whole story. I grew up here. I have an elder that had a jewelry store here. So I heard my history from the kitchen table. Majority of people did not hear about Black Wall Street until, I mean, I'm talking about the people that actually lived here, raised here. They didn't hear about it. They didn't hear about it in the kitchen table. They didn't hear about it till recently. They may have gotten a glimpse of it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's place was much like Atlantis. You know, some people didn't know if it was real or not because there was little to no remnants here. There was anything but this area right here. Can you show this right here?
You want to walk and talk?
Well, yeah, we can do that. This is the only thing left of the original district. This is it right here. This is the district right here. So this is actually Greenwood and Archer, right here on the corner. So going north of here, that freeway right there, right? Freeway with the dividing line. Actually stood on the lane. Like much cities, that is where the dividing line ended. That made it where travel like the train tracks. You see the train is right here. Turn around the train. And the train tracks was the dividing area in the 20s. And this area was the beginning of the epicenter of what we call deep Greenwood. So you can imagine they didn't have semis back then. How did they get goods and services? Yeah? A lot of it came from the train. Makes a lot of sense, right? If you stay by the water, you can fish, right? Stay by the train tracks, you're gonna get your commerce, you get your goods and services. I've even gotten things like fruit and vegetables, restaurants. We had every type of movie theater back in the day. We had hotels back in the day. So there was places that needed food, but there was also places that needed other things. You had liquor and you had clothing that was made there. Everything you could imagine that a city would have. But they call this America. This is really a city. So it's a big 1920. Maybe approximately 12, 13, 14, 15,000. At that time, was a town, as they call it, was a small city. So they joined up with the Indians. Everyone got along. Everybody made money, and they were restricted from going anywhere else. You know, we take that for granted. Also, they were restricted from going anywhere else in shop. And let's walk over.
You said they were restricted from going anywhere else and shopping.
Yeah.
What was the restriction?
Well, no blacks could come back to the areas that they worked in when they got off work. Shop. Couldn't go in restaurants. Couldn't go and buy clothes. Couldn't do anything on that. So that was the restriction. You see, my mother's 94. She told me about those things that was going on when she was. So it was something that was ongoing for a long time. This time, if I was not supposed to buy someone else buys it, that's how the money should be.
So you said that the 35 times is not. That's not true. It was 100. The money stayed in this.
Where would they go after? I mean, I put money to get me work to work. I would probably be the only way you have money. But you're not even able to shop. But if I said, okay, I'm going to be down.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World. It's me, Tony B, live from Tulsa with Zach Bruner. Zach, you want to walk? I'll just follow you. You go where you want to go. And again, we're on the corner, the historic corner of Archer and Greenwood. Now, the Gap Band, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. So how does Pine factor into the equation?
Pine was a part of the district. There was another misconception. Greenwood was only a street. It was actually a district. It was an area. It comprised of area, Cincinnati, the thoroughfares. So schools, churches, churches, people had on those streets. So Greenwood Archer.
This
right now,
this is the hub, right? Would that be accurate?
Yeah. This is the actual block, Greenwood and Archer. Now, if you go down the block, then you're running.
All right, wherever you want to go.
Street is true. Now, this is a documentary that is shown. Also, have a question on what happened to everybody. A lot of us are asking, and so we hope that everybody takes this blueprint and implement things. Do this in your own community. You know, put your own black. See this right here? These are the benefits that were burned down at that moment. This guy that's got on the other side.
Bring you over here while you're talking to make sure folks can hear you.
Okay. Like I said, this is not all of this. This is a portion of some of the benefits that were here during that time. Let me walk over here. So the other side. Right here. This was the principle of the I'm like, yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna back up to show this. Do you know who drew this?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, let me see where. Now, this is not the actual area. This is not the actual area, but this is the dedication that they gave to my elder. Right here. Each and every one of the sidewalks, these are dedicated. Each and every one of the businesses that was. Wow. This sidewalk thing. Let's see behind you over to your right. Over to your right. That's the black newspaper. One of the black two. I was down there at the time. That is the still in circulation, bro.
So I hope you're able to get this. I'm trying to zoom in on this. And this is the authentic Oklahoma Eagle that was at the time printing and sharing information with the community as a media resource.
Yes, that time this was your enemy. This was everything you wanted to hear. This was even news, bro.
And the entire community relied on the Oklahoma Eagle to let them know everything, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, that was the only gospel to really receive the news. And Ferguson is defending state representative, she is a descendant family. So we come down here to the right. I'm gonna go inside the makeshift. This is like a time capsule. The history of Black Wallstreet. Fashion, pretty much like you just saw in the museum. Where you, excuse me, y'all hadn't seen it. But it's pretty much in the, like the museum is, but
the museum he's talking about is not open yet to the public. Right. I did have a chance to go there. Let me tell you, it is It's amazing. Amazing isn't even a strong enough word.
Yeah.
You need to come down here and see this museum and the history this museum contains and what they've done and how they've integrated technology to put you back into that time period. Absolutely amazing. Okay. And so this right here is again in Tulsa, and we're just taking a walk and sharing what we can. Okay, so we get to come in. We'll do that. Are you with us? We'll find out. Here we go.
Little makeshift museum, and then you see things that was going on around the time. This is another reason.
And how long has this been here?
This has only been here probably like the last 40.
Okay. And what is this again?
This more or less like the Alliance. Alliance. Okay. When you come down here, it will be on the corner of Bruner and Arch.
Right across the street, kitty corner, kind of from
yes.
The new facility. That's not open yet, but
yes.
Now this is amazing. As I'm looking around here and seeing all of the obviously authentic artifacts.
Yes, sir. So this is the bishop in Cincinnati, which your cousin said his parents lived on. This is where I street that was very cool. But it was, Black Wallstreet, of course, the street was Greenwood. But there was a district. That means it was a combination of probably about 20 streets. Imagine going down 20 streets. Anything in this town. I can't even imagine. You had to be some kind of barbaric mentally. You had to be out of your freaking mind. And that, to my understanding, they were very jealous, very envious of the prosperity that blacks figured out that they could have by dealing with each other. That's why I put this on the bottom of the show. Built out of necessity. And I call this Black Wallstreet University. There's a mantra. And basically the mantra is saying that everything they needed, they had to learn how to provide. Just as well. But then they did it with a natural flair. Which is a beautiful thing. But it sets a precedent for us. You know my book you watched?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, just imagine, even in the early 1900s, this was a very prominent figure around the country for anybody, which is black anybody. Well, just imagine he'd seen the real Wall Street, New York, right? So for him to give somebody the name of something that was already good and held high, you know what I'm saying? A prestigious name. He called it Black Wall Street.
And he was the person who coined the term
yes, sir. Black
Wall Street, Booker T. Washington.
Yes, he doesn't get enough credit, but I think, we dig deep enough, people will understand that, what this was called before then? Little Africa.
Now, I have relatives in Arkansas.
Yes.
And you were telling me, any of my family members in Arkansas, I'm listening. Yeah. The story of
Mr. O.W. Gurney. Yeah, the founding father of Black Wall Street was actually from Arkansas.
And near the Pine Bluff area.
Yes. Yes, I couldn't say exactly where one of my custodians. But very educated man. He worked for the president at the time. And
worked for the president.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was. I say he already had a vision of what he wanted to have done. And like I said, most of the blacks that came to prominence here were not from. They came with the education and the experience. I mean, just imagine back. It's hard to imagine just not being able to start a business where you're from, where you worked on somebody else's land, made them X amount of dollars, and you know you could do bad sure on your own, but you're restricted because of the color of skin. So when they heard that there was a black man from Arkansas buying up all this land, and he pretty much laid the bed down. All you had to do was come and lay in it and get comfortable, come and enjoy yourself. You know, the black instructors. Somebody said it was Wakanda before Wakanda. So, you know,
1 second before we exit out again,
okay.
I'm gonna. Again, this was kind of a long strip here, and this itself is amazing, and you just got a glimpse of it. And again, this is called
They call it the Museum at the Black Wallstreet Alliance. It's a makeshift museum or time capsule, if you will. And as you can see, it's a lot of detail.
okay.
It's a lot of history. They have a larger version at the museum, but this is the makeshift. Very, very, very vivid story. And where we were during these years.
Now we were supposed to stop at 5:30, but we're gonna go a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's.
I'm gonna take you somewhere and let people know that you really can.
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna go around the other.
Okay.
1 second. Yeah, we weren't really supposed to be here.
Oh, we're not supposed to be here.
Oh,
Well, we're not supposed to be here. So for those of you out there, don't tell anybody that we're here. Okay? I'll give you quick.
But this is other areas. So you can imagine. I said I want to bring you around here because you said you guys look.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the other house. You know, all of the you can imagine it. Like everything else. Yeah, good.
Now this is, what does this represent?
This is just a time capsule. It's just, you know, like if you had the old school speakeasies back in the day.
This is,
Come in here, eat, drink, hang out. And you look at these pictures. These are the authentic pictures from that time that have been reproduced. It's just amazing, man. Very
and here
amazing.
you have a vibrant
Yes.
Black Wallstreet.
Yeah. This is before the highway. Remember I told you the highway right there? Cut off a little bit of it. Just imagine, man.
A couple people look pretty happy with it.
And they were ecstatic. This was a black oasis. This is like being Italian and living in Italy. That's why they call it Bruner. Everything you want to hear, good education, find good morality.
Where do we want to? This is amazing. We got a couple minutes left. Anything else you want to take us to?
Yeah. Let's go.
The place where I can say definitely I was here. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Okay. I know there's a lot to see. I might have to come back to Tulsa again.
It's a little bit down the road. Yeah, I was gonna say this is like Disneyland. You can't see it all at once.
Or better yet, Zach, you remember you and I were planning to talk about this back in February during Black History Month.
That's correct.
And things were going on at the time, and I think the snow happened.
Yeah, everything happened. Everything is instant. Because we had a very bad ice storm. I'm pretty sure the nation heard about that.
pick up the pace here because I want to try and so that we get there.
Yeah. The snowstorm hit it, and ice storm hit it. And they shut everything down. About a couple of weeks. How much time?
You know what? I probably safely should say about 1 more minute. I don't know if we're gonna make it.
We'll go to the museum.
Okay.
They will leave the restaurant.
All right. Again, you're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio. It's me, Tony B. Live. Tulsa, Black Wallstreet. Again, I'm gonna give it a sign real quick before I sign off. We are here, and the museum over here. You know what, Zach? I don't want to risk losing this. Anything you want to say to folks before we sign off?
Come to the Black Wallstreet. There's a wealth of information. This is what you just heard today. Once, this was there's thousands about Black Wallstreet coming from many people that have seen.
All right, and again, remember, we're going to make sure that you get one of these T-shirts.
Oh, did I tell you the special part about this?
Go ahead. No, tell me. Ah, all you have to do is send in 3 areas that you know of that were terrorized and destroyed, folks were massacred, so that we can continue to share stories, because this happened in a lot of places. The intentional terrorism inflicted on Black people. And I think that this adds a reality to the struggles that Black people in this country went through, that people should know about when you talk about issues that are current, that we're talking about now, that ultimately led to Black Lives Matter. Black lives have always mattered, except this destruction was heaped upon the communities, and in most instances covered up, and these stories are not told. So yeah, give us the 3 instances that you can. Send it to RainierAvenueRadio.world@gmail.com. We're going to get you one of these authentic shirts that you can only get in Tulsa, and as soon as as you meet the demand, we'll let folks know how they can order directly from you. Okay, what did you want to say?
Thanks for coming. It's a long way coming. 1 hour to the next.
Yes, sir. RainierAvenueRadio.world. It's me, Tony B, coming to you live from Tulsa. I hope you've enjoyed this. You're not going to find this information anywhere else. Do some research. Thanks again. This is Zach Bruner. What's the name of your business? Black Wallstreet University. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share with your friends. Share with people who aren't your friends. Share with anybody. Thank you.